to talk about the Sicilian Defence, which is actually one of the very popular defense for the black. But there are a few traps you need to watch out. So I'm going to go over some of those traps today. So let's get started. So the game begins with king's pawn moving, and here comes the Sicilian defense. Basically, black is hoping that it can use one of the flank pawns to still control the center. So it's controlling, you can see this square. So one of the responses to this could be from white is just bringing the knight here and making sure it can attack this, and obviously it is also able to move forward. So in response to that, black has moved his pawn up and is threatening to move this pawn and kind of diffuse this pawn that is in the middle. But essentially the white has essentially played this pawn right now, so it's threatening to take this. So the black takes the pawn, and we move the knight. So that's one opening. We got knight on this side. And the next response is just seems like a normal development move, moving the black knight up. At this point, white is moving their knight as a development move, and it looks like a good nice pin for the black, where we're just pinning this knight and making it not very useful. But here comes the trap. You can push this pawn forward, and then this black knight has to kind of go to some other square. It cannot go here because it is obviously being attacked, and if it wants to move forward, so this is a possible choice, because then it's double attacking this. So this is what exactly happens here. We are double attacking this, but at this time there is a good move that comes by the queen coming out, where the queen is threatening to take this knight. So it is possible for this trap to be set up. The knight basically takes this and so the trap here is that the queen is going actually on the other side and takes this pawn. Now to save it, the rook has to move closer to the king, and at that point the way the trap works is essentially we are forcing this bishop out, and then we move the pawn up twice, so then it's being forced to move out one more time, and then it moves back up here. And at this point what can happen is this bishop is brought up and is threatening to attack the queen here. So one of the easy responses is to move this pawn up. So the pawn gets moved up, pawn is taken by the bishop and still threatening the queen. So the rook has to come up, and then the rook is taken by the pawn. And at this point there are very few moves left. So this pawn is moved up, so the king or the queen can kind of have some little breathing room. That's the idea. But unfortunately for black, this pawn can essentially give a check to the king. The king moves, as I said, somewhere here, and now it's a double check. So, and there's checkmate. So you need to watch out for this in the Sicilian game, and this is one of the Sicilian traps. Let me go over one more trap which you should watch out. So let's say with the Sicilian begins, which is the normal Sicilian, and at this point all the knights are back. Same thing happens. We move the pawn up, taken, and here is being essentially threatened by this pawn to take this. So we have to move this knight somewhere, and we move knight to the queen side of the board, and just defending this pawn seems like a pretty natural move. And then the second knight is being brought out, and this knight comes out as just to make a defense. And here we are just pinning this knight, and at this time seems like just a similar thing which we saw. This bishop needs to kind of go back, but instead of going back, let's say just takes it, and let's say it's taken by the pawn here right now. Then the second knight has a space and it can move forward here right now. And as you can see, there's a central square and it can give a check to the queen, and checked, and the queen cannot really take it, because otherwise is being controlled by the two knights, so that's why the trap is set up. So they just want to save their rook, so they move it to the side. But we still continue and give the check to the king, and now king has this square, and then it's easy. You can give check by the queen, and it's trapped, and it's over. So you this, even though Sicilian is a very popular defense for black, and it has a good chance for winning for black, and it's played at grandmaster and at all levels, you just need to be aware of the some of the traps, and I've shown you a few traps here for the Sicilian. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.